The tornado, overall tornado risk with the Bella Vista, Hiwassee area, that's really starting to go by the wayside. The tornado warning goes till 6, but not really at a level anymore where we'd expect a tornado to drop. They are canceling it. All right, so Hiwassee, Bella Vista, they've canceled the tornado warning. You can come out of your safe spot. I would say still stay indoors as those intense winds push through, because we're not done with the intense winds. There's still going to be occasional strong wind gusts over to Gravette, and even maybe over to Decatur. There's still going to be some strong straight line winds, but there's no tornado risk in that area at the moment. The tornado risk with the storm is basically, and you can see how the organization has gotten a little bit better here. I'm going to step back over to the green screen. And I'm going to have to put the new batteries in the IFB and mic here in a moment, William, so I'll have you take over for a second. But we can really kind of tell how the organization of this cell right here has definitely creeped upward, whereas the organization farther north is kind of gone entirely. It's still really in strong winds, but not the same organization. So let's go back to, again, Damon Shot here, and again, still a lot of trees, but can we see anything over here? All right, once he comes around this bend, it looks like there's a little bit less tree coverage. You can see the scud, and scud, that's just, this is around the Cincinnati area, northwest Washington County, Highway 59. Is that right, William? Highway 59? Yeah, around Cincinnati. Folks in Cincinnati, we need to take shelter right now. We could have a tornado forming or may have already formed, but this is from meteorologist Damon Shaw. We're going to curve around a little bit here, maybe be able to see something a little bit better here before too long. You can see how the focus kind of goes in and out, but we'll come back to that. Keep an eye on that if you wouldn't mind, William, because if he's starting to see anything, I want to make sure we're bringing that back up quickly. But right now we just can't see a whole lot. Let's get information on this. That circulation, you know, right in here. This is where we've got it, right here. Okay, what's that, Kendall? What's that, Kendall? Okay, yeah, we got to get those batteries changed out. All right, Brandon, Allison, it sounds like we do have some power outages. Some of those outages might be from yesterday's storms, I'm wondering, but what do you have for us right now?
Yeah, so last check, about 1,500 power outages, 1,000 of them being in Washington County, another 300 and so in Madison County. iDrive not reporting any accidents. We haven't seen a lot of people out on the roadways. That's the good news. And we are checking on tornado sirens. We were able to confirm that tornado sirens were going off in Pea Ridge. We're working to check to see in other areas like Siloam, Westville, Gravette to see if tornado sirens are going off there as well. And as you can see here on our screen, we're continuing to monitor the highways in 49, but not what you would normally see at 10 minutes till 6 o'clock on a Monday on the highways there. So we're going to continue to monitor the highways. We do have our 4029 storm tracker out there, but we're monitoring outages. We're monitoring tornado sirens. Look at the road race. Speaking of, our 4029 storm tracker right there. Chip Scarborough's out there right now. And he is, Darby, you got the batteries in yet?
Yeah, I got new batteries in, just got new ones put in. And here's some leftover batteries for you. I think those are the new batteries, hopefully. But again, still seeing that circulation right here around Watts. I want to go, we want to be showing Damon's shot again here in a little bit. Right now, not going to be able to see much from, let's see, this is from our JB Hunt camera in Lowell. Not a lot showing up right there right now. From Fayetteville, might be able to see a little bit of something from Fayetteville. I want to pull that in 1 second here. Now, if we're looking at this storm, we're going to be looking just right off to the west, so I'm going to point our camera in that direction. And yeah, just not really a lot right now. Not really a lot. This is what it looks like from Fayetteville. Just too far away, and the atmosphere is so saturated. So saturated. Anything new from the National Weather Service, William?
No, not in the tornado-warned storm.
Okay. That's good. It still has some organization to it. The circulation has generally decreased. We can see that from both Fort Smith and Tulsa. If this continues to be the trend with this storm, it may that tornado warning may get canceled. Now we've got another tornado warned storm. This one much bigger. Oh man. And much more intense. That's the purple right there. That's the confirmed tornado warning. Okay, that's where it's saying, all right, we've got a tornado on the ground, we know it. And when you look at it, my goodness, very intense indeed. Coming into Blanco, Oklahoma. Yeah, what was that again?
The National Weather Service is reporting a significant tornado there.
Yeah, I mean that's about as obvious as it gets right there when you see that on radar. I mean, and I imagine they've got some spotters who are visually giving them some updates as well. Oh, that is, and then a clear debris signature. Again, it shows up right where we've got the rotation. So you know that that's debris. You know that those are trees and parts of houses, anything getting lofted up in the atmosphere. When you see something like that, that is a really dangerous storm. That one is moving toward the river valley. Okay. And that is the bruiser of all bruisers we've got right now anywhere in the country, I'd say. That's unquestionably the biggest, nastiest storm, and probably currently producing the biggest, nastiest tornado. It's, again, moving toward the river valley. Still a couple hours out, but maybe a little bit less than a couple hours, but it's headed that way. The storm in northwest Arkansas, I think the fact that we've had a ton of cloud cover, we've had a little bit of rain ahead of all this, we haven't heated up as much, even though we've got a ton of moisture. I think that's all helping quite a bit. Not to the point that there's no threat, but at least it's helping a little bit. And still have that spin, but I don't see any reason to believe there's a tornado on the ground right now. I think the situation we're in right now is one in which a new tornado could form at any point. So still a dangerous storm. This is coming toward, Highfill. This is coming toward Cave Springs, Tawnytown, Lowell, Rogers, and probably it's definitely going to move through Bentonville too. The circulation with it, kind of in this area right here, when you put this in motion, it's basically moving toward the Cave Springs, Lowell, South Rogers area. That's where the circulation with this storm is moving. And we did just get a new radar update. Let's see if it gives us any, or changes anything. Really not seeing any changes from Tulsa or Fort Smith as far as the actual level of danger within this storm. Not seeing a dramatic increase in spin with it. The winds are still pretty intense with it. I'm going to step back over to the green screen here, but when we look at this from Fort Smith, we do see certainly some brighter reds in there for sure. And so, radar probably estimating 40 to 60 mile per hour winds in here. Take that down. See if we can get this to work. There we go. Give us a little bit of trouble today, but about 50 to 55 right in that area. And I imagine it's mostly in the 40 to 50 range throughout the rest of that. So some stronger winds, at least aloft, and some of that's going to get down to the surface. We can look at this storm from Rogers as well. Let's go ahead and pull that up.
Do you want him to follow the storm or head south?
Damon's where?
In Lincoln?
In Lincoln. Well, let's 1 second here. I'm wondering if we should have him go south at this point. Because we're going to have Jeff and Jim on this one. I'm kind of thinking, yeah, that's not a bad idea where we have Damon go south toward the river valley. I think that's a fair point. Let's have him do that. Let's have him head south toward Muldrow. Let's have him head south toward Muldrow. Thank you, sir. And then we'll keep Jeff and Jim on this storm. Kendall, did you have something? Oh, I thought you had something for me. I'm sorry. Okay, no worries. All right, still have that circulation. Still seeing it. I doubt we have any. Yeah, we're not seeing any debris from Fort Smith, and I wouldn't have expected that we would. And I wouldn't expect that we would from Tulsa, and we're not. So not likely a tornado on the ground at this exact moment, but something we're watching. What was that, Kendall? Sure, absolutely. All right. Yeah, all right. So we've got additional storms behind this as well. Additional storms behind this as well. You can see these are also coming toward northwest Arkansas. Remember we were talking about earlier, some of us, in fact most of us, would probably get multiple rounds of storms and possibly, in some cases, maybe even multiple rounds of damage. I think that would be really, really low chance. I don't think there'll be a lot of people actually get 2 rounds of damage. That almost never happens, but it can. It's a possibility on a day like this. Now, if you're just now joining us, we have got a tornado warning that is in place for northern Washington County into southern Benton County. Okay, this one right here. We do not think right at this exact moment we've got a tornado on the ground, but it is a threatening storm and it could drop a tornado at any point. The one that we know has a tornado on the ground, partly because we can see it on radar, but also because the National Weather Service has already confirmed it, is this one around McAllister. It's moving toward the Stigler-Wilburton area, and when we pull up on radar exactly the location of that tornado, it's kind of moving toward looks like Hartshorn. Let's put it in motion. Yeah, it's moving toward Hartshorn, Wilburton as well. Now after that, it'll be starting to get closer to, it looks like, the northwest corner of LeFlore County, and then eventually could get into southeast Sequoia County, or maybe northwestern Sebastian County. Could approach Fort Smith. Now that is way down the road, and a lot's going to happen between now and then with this storm. So we'll just wait and see what happens with it. But long track supercell thunderstorms in a situation like today, absolutely possible. We had several supercell storms over the weekend, or I believe it was on Friday, move from Missouri all the way across Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, producing multiple pretty bad tornadoes, and another one that moved all the way across Missouri, developed around Springfield, Missouri, moved all the way across Illinois and Kentucky, and did a ton of damage in Kentucky and London, a lot of fatalities from that one. So these supercells can sometimes last for many, many hours. Of course, the one last year on May 26th, it did, and it did drop multiple tornadoes. So that can happen, and that may be what we see with this storm. Now, this is a very big storm right here. very, very big. It's, you know, it's so big you almost wonder if it's really a cluster of storms in reality. But it looks like just one tornado with it. And again, that's coming toward Wilburton. So we'll keep an eye on that. Little shower activity developing ahead of it and here and there. Let's go back to our tornado warning storm here for Benton and Washington County. Let's go ahead and stop the map. Let's go ahead. And again, this tornado warning, it goes till 6:30. So for about another 28 minutes. And, well, still not seeing any dramatic uptick in circulation from Fort Smith. Still not really seeing any reason to believe it's throwing up debris from Fort Smith, from Tulsa. Not really there either. And even the circulation from Tulsa looks a little bit weaker now. This is good news. Good news. Still a strong storm, but definitely losing a lot of organization. The National Weather Service talking about this, that it really has lost.
Storm that's approaching Hartshorn, Oklahoma City radar is estimating EF2, EF3.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Very strong tornado.
Okay. Well, that'll be the next one. That'll be one for the River Valley. This one in northwest Arkansas, though, it really is. It's struggling right now. It's still producing some pretty strong winds. There's good reason to believe there's some strong winds. We still have outside, like here's our tornado warning. You see, there's a new tornado warning. That's another one. That one actually looks, in the Delaware, that one looks a little bit more impressive. Certainly more organized. But a lot, just kind of lost some organization. I think as it worked its way into northwest Arkansas, it kind of ran into a little bit less instability, and I think that's why we're kind of at that in this situation now with this storm. I do want to pull up what. Let's see, where is Jeff and Jim? They're coming into. Okay, there we go. Yeah, about to come into Taneytown. Let's show you what it looks like for Jeff and Jim. They're on I-49, it looks like right now. And yeah, heading south, I-49, about to come up on the Sunset exit, it looks like. So some heavy rain. Right now we've got the tornado warning, but not a clear tornado potential necessarily. We can look at this from Fayetteville again. A little bit of rain coming down there. That's about it. So, and there's an update from the radar again. We can, just still not. I don't think so. So not really a storm we think is producing a tornado right now. The one out toward that's now approaching northwest Benton County, that one, that's a little bit different. That one's a little bit. We'll talk about this in a moment. We're going to get another update. Do we have new power outage numbers? Is that, do we?
Yeah.
We do? All right. Hey, Brandon, what do you got?
Still more than 1,000 in Washington County, 385 in Madison. Still relatively low according to Ozarks Electric Cooperative in Benton County, although, SWEPCO had reported 162 without power. Tad Sowers, though, says storm shelters in Greenland and Prairie Grove are open. That is good to know. And Benton County Dispatch unaware of any damage at the moment. But of course, we're keeping track of all this, as well as iDrive, looking at the roads with Chip Scarborough out there in our storm tracker. But so far, no accidents to worry about, but plenty of rain and storms out there to worry about, Darby. I see a lot of people posting on our Facebook Live. Siloam Springs was in a warning early. They wanted to know, is Siloam Springs going to see another warning shortly?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. We'll see. I would say that if the storm that they've issued the new tornado warning on just now holds on to its current track, it'll go north of Siloam Springs and would again pose more of a risk in this case, really more towards Sulphur Springs. If this were to still have circulation with it as it's moving off to the northeast, it'd be more up into Sulphur Springs area or even a little bit west of Sulphur Springs. So that's where I'd expect concern from this one right here. But there are other storms developing, right? And some of these may become a problem over time. Some of what's south of Dakota could become a problem over time as well. But Sutherland Springs for right now, for the moment, we're just seeing a little bit of rain moving through. Again, I'm a little surprised that anything from the National Weather Service now, William, or are they talking about this the Benton, Washington County tornado warning?
No updates on that.
Okay. Well, I just again, when you're not seeing hardly any significant spin up, I kind of would have expected maybe something. I mean, this tornado warning goes till 6:30, and it's about to. It'll be out of the tornado. Like the storm itself, even the circulation will probably exit the warning before 6:30. So I'm wondering what they're going to do with this. I'd really like to know. We don't want to go off the air immediately until the warning's canceled, but there's just absolutely nothing. I mean, just nothing there.
Wagner also trying to develop north of Muskogee.
Yeah, I mean, there's likely some stronger winds in there. There's probably a little bit of hail in spots, not much, but I'm not even. There's just nothing going on there. So we'll go back to the storm that's approaching kind of the northwest corner of Benton County. That one, again, a little bit more intense. What's the speed on the one approaching northwest Benton County?
Hold on one second.
The one where the warnings for
50
Delaware County.
50 miles per hour.
50 miles per
to
hour?
the northeast, yep.
Okay. So I want to get the movement on this exact. It's really bulging out quite a bit too, which gives an indication of maybe a little bit more potential for straight line wind than anything else. But the edge of this storm, we'll do a track on this one because this one's stronger. Right in through here, a little bit ahead. It said, did you say 40 or
50?
50, okay. So let's see. So if it holds at its current track, let's see here, Colcord at 640, Sulphur Springs 654. And it'd be Sulphur Springs, maybe over to Gravette as well, but definitely Sulphur Springs.
Aiden.
That would have some of the greatest potential for wind damage or maybe a tornado with this. And that'd be a little bit before 7, Gravette a little bit before 7. Bella Vista, if it took a little bit more of a right turn, 7:05 to 7:15 time frame in general. So we'll come back to that. We'll get that off the mat. That's some times there for the tornado warning storm over there. There we go. Now they've gotten rid of the tornado warning. That's good. Okay. So we now have all tornado warnings removed. They've issued a new tornado warning right here we can actually do a little bit of news, I think, here, guys, if you want to do a little bit of news, because we don't have any tornado warnings in the viewing area right now. We're going to have to come back to this pretty soon, but we do have a lot of news to discuss. So back there, when you guys are ready to get into the news, let me know. We'll come back to weather. But we can do some news here. Is you guys catching that?
Yeah, we hear you, Darby. Let's go to 429 Chip Scarborough. He's in the storm tracker right now. Chip, can you tell us where you are, what you're seeing, what the conditions have been like out on the roadways?
Well, Brandon, when we saw you last hour, we were over in Bella Vista, and boy, did we see quite a downpour there. We actually went into a grocery store for a few minutes, and people there were kind of taking cover, and then they eventually kind of closed down for a little bit. So we got on I-49 northbound, came up here to Gravette. My photographer, Jacob Adams, really had to slow it down on I-49. We hit a massive downpour, but he navigated it very well. I'm going to show you where we are at this very moment. We are in Gravette. You can see right there the roads are very wet. We're still seeing some flashes of lightning. Nobody else really out on the road at this moment. And that is a good thing because the roads are wet. You can see the wipers are really getting a workout there. They've had some heavy rainfall here. We've been looking for damage. We have not seen any so far. I did put in a call to Benton County 911 dispatch to find out if they've had any reports of damage. I'm told not right now. That is certainly a good thing, but we will stay in touch to make sure nothing has developed right there. So we're heading from Gravette, heading towards Decatur. And of course, this is certainly a nerve-wracking time. You know, it's almost been a year since the tornadoes came through on May 26th. So anytime you're talking about bad weather, it definitely gets the attention of everyone. And the rain is kind of picking back up again as we inch closer to Decatur there. You can kind of hear it hitting the windshield there. So we will keep driving. We will head towards Decatur. We'll let you know if we encounter any problem spots. But for now, live in the 4029 Storm Tracker, Chip Scarborough, 4029 News.
And while we're tracking severe storms, we did see hail damage yesterday. This was at Mama Z's in Town. Basically, it was all along Highway 412, but people there reported seeing baseball-sized hail as the storms moved through. And we know the Walmart amp announced that the Halsey concert for tonight has been canceled because of these severe weather threats. The AMP says if you purchased your tickets through Ticketmaster, refunds will be issued automatically. And if you bought tickets through a third-party reseller, you need to reach out to them for the potential refund. And tonight, we know questions and concerns are swirling surrounding staffing at the National Weather Service with the severe weather and tornadoes that have hit much of the country, and even more that are threatening the area.
Yeah, we have White House correspondent Christopher Salas in our Washington Bureau with more on the agency and the union that represents the workers.
Staffing shortages at the National Weather Service did not impact the delivery or timing of tornado warnings prior to that deadly storm outbreak last week. That's according to the agency and the union representing its workers. But still, concerns over staffing remain. As neighborhoods clean up the damage left behind by tornadoes and the threat of more severe weather on the way, the warning sirens are growing.
This is a seriously challenging time.
Tom Fahey with the National Weather Service Employees Organization says 600 workers have been fired, resigned, or retired as a result of changes made by the Department of Government Efficiency.
We've never seen this many shortages in the last 15 years.
He says right now 52 National Weather Service offices across the country have vacancy rates in excess of 20%, some as high as 61%. The problem's so bad that starting last week, some offices opted to not staff meteorologists overnight at 4 locations, including Jackson, Kentucky, where those deadly tornadoes hit. In a statement, the Weather Service says before and during the storm, it was able to cover that station 24/7 because neighboring offices provided staffing support. Additionally, the Jackson office remained fully staffed through the duration of the event using surge staffing.
Do you think that decision saved lives?
Absolutely.
Fahey said the Weather Service had time to plan for that event, but that may not always be the case, raising concern.
If you can't have staffing, what's at risk?
Communities across the country will continue to be put in harm's way.
Fahey says starting tonight, 2 more offices are not going to have a meteorologist overnight. There's going to be one in Wyoming and one in Michigan. Meanwhile, he also says that the National Weather Service has asked the Trump administration to exempt them from the federal hiring freeze. In Washington, Christopher Salas.
And we're continuing our severe day coverage as those storms are expected. But first, we're going to take a look at Wall Street.
I think we're going to do that after the break. Let's actually go to a commercial break, and we're going to be right back after this.
We don't want to lose sight of what's going on in LaFleur County. Now we've got a confirmed tornado warning in LaFleur County as well. That one is harder to pick out. But right over Panama, and again, this is coming toward the south side of Fort Smith. We've got to look at this one. All right, look at that. All right. And what we're seeing right here is what appears to be, this could be the edge. This could be the edge of a shelf, or it could be the edge of the actual wall cloud. A lot of lightning with it. All right, so we've got the tornado warning for Sebastian, LaFleur County. We want to keep an eye on that too. All right, they're issuing a new tornado warning on that one. Right over Greenland, I tell you, it's just Still been showing. Oh, look at this. Here we go. This might be it. Look at this. That might be the tornado as it crosses I-49. It's hard to tell, or at least it's in that vicinity. Wow. This is at Greenland. This is at Greenland. Exit 58. I can. All right. Yeah, that thing is. Yeah, that's crossing the interstate right there. That is crossing the interstate right there. All right. William, let me have you. Okay. All right. All right, tornadoes just crossed the interstate. Very clear. South side of Fayetteville. This is right on top of you. This is coming toward Wyman. All right. Let's step back over in front of the green screen. All right. That's our circulation. Okay. Come toward Wyman. Here's Elkins. All right. South side of Fayetteville right here. This is where we've got the circulation. I'll bet we have a drop in CC value. Yeah, right there still. We have got a tornado on the ground there on this kind of south side of Fayetteville coming toward Wyman. We need to be in our safe spot. This is coming toward Goshen. And then after that, it'll get into Madison County. But this is a dangerous situation. We have got a tornado absolutely on the ground. It just crossed the interstate. It looks like we could see it as it crossed over the interstate right there. Our camera in Fayetteville downtown has gone down, so we can't see much from that location. I'll check it one more time to make sure we're not missing anything. No, it's just the camera's not working. Now we're also tracking a storm. Again, this is the one approaching Fort Smith, and we're kind of looking, I believe, in the right area. Let's pan that a little bit to the left, actually. I'm going to pan that to the left. Oh my goodness, and let's go over to RDOT. Look at what happened to our RDOT camera. It got pushed around, and it's still getting pushed around by those winds. Now, it may be that might be getting moved by the Arkansas Department of Transportation. All right, we'll go back to this. Oh my goodness, we got to go back to this. Look at that. The wind's still really blowing around here. They've moved it back to the north. My goodness. All right. Oh, wow. Is that the tornado on the ground? That is hard to say. Is that a rain-wrapped tornado on the ground right there? That's the question. If it is, that is indeed massive. See if we can get, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, there is definitely circulation in there. All right, this is from Fort Smith, and take a look right here, okay? That looks like it may be a tornado on the ground. Hard to say. That could be rain dropping right there. There's definitely rain in there. Zoom back out again.
People are asking just what's the area again?
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we got to get back to radar over here. 1 second. So the area we're looking is around Pensacola. This is right over Pensacola where we were just looking, okay? So the area on the video is right there. It's that signature. And we are getting what appears to be a drop in CC values there, though we've been seeing that off and on, so it's hard to say what's exactly real, what's not. But that's looking toward Pensacola. All right, we got to go back. And for some reason, there's a lot of lightning coming out of that thing. There is a ton of lightning, and that's usually an indicator that the mezzo. Wow, my goodness. Again, we need to be in our safe spot right now. All right, as this comes into Bonanza, Pensacola. All right, we need to be in that safe spot right now. And I'll get back over the green screen. Okay, but there's a lot. We've got to move around here. Cameras, we got to move around, go back and forth between cameras, all of that. So, see if we can get that to stop. Nope, not working.
Damon is near Fort Smith Airport.
All right, Damon's near the Fort Smith Airport. This right here is, I think, what we're seeing. Let's go back to our camera. Again, the camera is having trouble focusing right now. Looks a little bit different from what we were seeing earlier. Back up around Greenland, the wind's still blowing around right there. All right, I want to go back to radar right here.
In Fayetteville?
Have we heard anything about a tornado on the ground in Fayetteville?
Yeah, we have confirmed with the National Weather Service that it has crossed on the south side of Fayetteville.
Yeah, and now let's go back to our tornado here approaching Goshen. All right, we've got two. We've got two on the ground. We got to give each as much attention as we possibly can here. All right, yeah, absolutely. So, if you are just now joining us here, folks, we've got multiple tornadoes on the ground. We've got one that just crossed the south side of Fayetteville, okay? Now it's moving toward the area between Wyman and Elkins, okay? We zoom in a little bit here. We can, and do we still have that drop in CC value? We do.
Look at the most
right
recent.
there.
Yes, go back one step in the scan, and you can see that it's really.
It was much
it was
brighter
much,
earlier?
Much
Okay.
brighter one previous scan.
Okay, and I can do that. All right. We'll go back one. Yeah, wow. I mean, that thing lofted a lot of debris up on the southeast side of Fayetteville. Lot of debris on the southeast side of Fayetteville. It still has a tornado on the ground, we think, as this comes through Wyman, Goshen area, okay? And this is coming toward Mayfield, all right? All right, how fast is this thing still moving?
Northeast at 50 miles per hour.
Okay, so it's changed a little bit. Goshen area, it's coming right up on top of you right now. Buckeye, Whitner, 755, Hinesville, 757, Clifty, 806. All right, so we'll see how this affects Huntsville. It certainly could, but Goshen, this is on top of you right now. There's still a good bit of circulation with it, and we still have that debris signature. So Goshen, we need to be in our safe spot. Buckeye, Mayfield, Hinesville. Let's go ahead and get in our safe spot right now as well. All right. Now let's go back to the storm that we were watching here in Fort Smith, and the camera's struggling a little bit here to remain in focus. Boy, those clouds are moving fast, aren't they? All right, that's the area of concern, and it's hard to tell right at this moment if what we're looking at right there is really from a tornado or is it straight line winds? You know, I don't necessarily see a ton of circulation right there. It's forward motion more than anything else. But very fast, very fast. Again, this is going to cause some damage. In the area we're talking about, again, it just came through Pecola, coming into Bonanza right now. Jenny Lynn going to be after that. Greenwood, you're going to get in on this the very strong straight line winds at the very least. Fort Chaffee, this is going to hit Fort Chaffee pretty hard. Let's be in our safe spot right now in all these areas. Jenny Lynn, Crescent, Buell, White Bluff, Bonanza, over to Greenwood. Let's get in that safe spot. Okay. Coming right toward the radar. And we can see it here. We've been watching it. And when it was over Pecola, we may have been looking at the tornado itself. And now we've got that circulation right in through here. Okay? Very intense winds. You know, radar, this is right next to the radar, and the radar is estimating 75 mile per hour winds. All right, so again, Greenwood over to Jenny Lynn, White Bluff, Crescent, and Fort Chaffee. This is about to hit you very hard. This is a massive storm, capable of producing another very large tornado. Okay? And now we're not going to be able to see much from here on out from our camera there on the south side of Fort Smith. It's gotten overtaken. All right, we're going to keep going back and forth here. Do we have anything? Can we show anything from Jeff and Jim? Okay, we've got Jeff here. Jeff and Jim, I believe they're back in the Farmington area again. I'm not 100% certain on that, so we'll get off of that. All right, anything new, Brandon, or William, from the National Weather Service on either of these storms?
No, other than the storms in northeast LaFleur County, they're still tracking off to about 30 to 40 miles per hour, but no other updates than that.
Okay, and not seeing the same level of tornado potential at this exact moment as it comes into Madison County, but there's still a lot of concern. So Hinesville, let's still be in our safe spot. We know we had a tornado on the south side of Fayetteville earlier in the Greenland area as well, kind of between Greenland and Fayetteville. It looks like it was probably at its maximum southeast side of Fayetteville. And we were warning folks on that. That's still a concerning storm. That's past, let me zoom out again here, folks, but that's past Fayetteville now. The tornado threat is now past Fayetteville. We still have the really intense straight line winds, but what we don't have necessarily is the circulation directly over Fayetteville. That has passed on off to the east. So, and look, at this point, hopefully we've got folks kind of headed. Can we get the storm tracker headed toward the south side of Fayetteville? I'm not sure who's producing back there, but anyone back there? Let's make sure we've got the storm tracker headed toward the south side of Fayetteville. All right, thank you. Okay. All right, back to this storm coming into Barling. They are heading that way right now. Let me know when they get closer. They're going to find damage. On the south side of Fayetteville, there will be damage there. And I'm wondering if we're getting pictures. Are we getting any pictures?
I haven't seen any on U Local I haven't seen any yet.
Oh, what is this? What? I'm seeing something from Jeff's. Can you add?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly where he's at right now.
Well, I was just seeing something from Jeff's live stream that looked like damage. Could you ask him if that's what he was seeing? Because if it is, it'd be nice. Oh, you know what? They're closer to the south side of Fayetteville than the storm tracker is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Is that what you're having them do?
Yeah, they're. Last time I checked, they were on the south side, on School Avenue.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out this address that they've given me right now. It's not very clear.
Well, where we need them to go would be. They need to be in Greenland. They need to really kind of go. I mean, this thing passed right near Baum-Walker Stadium. I mean, it would have been just south of Baum-Walker. So they need to go to the area southeast of Baum-Walker. Have them head in that direction. Southeast of Baum-Walker.
Okay.
Okay. So they might get there a little bit faster. This thing is not really. Boy, it's not. It doesn't have the same circulation it had just moments ago. It really doesn't as it comes into Hinesville, which is good to see. We're not seeing the same debris signatures that we were seeing before. There's still some right around Crossroads, Hartwell over to Huntsville. This thing may still have potential. Huntsville, let's get in our safe spot right now. It's not the same storm as it was moments ago, but it still has potential to produce a tornado. Huntsville over to Hartwell. Let's get in our safe spot right now, along, of course, with Hinesville, Buckeye, Wesley, Crossroads. All these areas need to be in their safe spot right now. Let's go back to the storm in the River Valley, where, this storm, my goodness, it's just. I'm going to pull up. I want to make sure I pull up the Kelly Highway camera here. Let's pull this up. That camera went down too. We've had a lot of our cameras go down as these storms have come over. So if we switch, well, we can just go over. We can go back to our Arkansas Children's Northwest. Now this is just going to look like a bunch of rain, but we can move that around a little bit. And very heavy rain, a lot of lightning. When you look. You look at the trees. You don't see them moving around a ton, so that's good to see. Let's head back over. Is the National Weather Service saying anything new about this storm as it comes into Barling? Right now, Barling, we need to be in our safe spot for sure.
No, it's moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour.
I mean,
and it's capable of producing a tornado like we're talking about in $half size hail.
They don't have the confirmed tornado right now, but
no.
Oh man, right next to the radar, you're getting near 100 mile per hour wind estimates.
By Fort Chaffee, yeah.
85. This is going to cause a lot of damage. Fort Chaffee area, again, we need to be in our safe spot. I hope you are. Fort Chaffee, Central City. This thing's got.
Looks like there's debris signature if you look at it just south of.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Now, because it's so close to the radar, straight line winds could be a part of that. But storm relative line. I mean, there's circulation still there. And look, when you look at this storm, very, very impressive on radar. I mean, this is a dangerous looking storm. It could be in the process of producing a new tornado warning coming. That's good. This makes sense because they're going to need a new one right through here. There it is. Confirmed tornado warning. All right. We may have been able to see that tornado earlier as it was over Pensacola. And then at this point, it's blatantly obvious, especially when you see that dip in CC Valley. So here's what we've got. This is interesting. We don't get to see this very often because storms aren't usually this close to the radar. What we've got right here, folks, is the straight line winds kicking up stuff out ahead of it, and then this is probably tornado. So the rear flank downdraft coming in on either side of the tornado, and then the tornado debris right there. So multiple areas of debris or just random stuff getting kicked up. Central City in your safe spot now. All right, we said it earlier, we're going to say it again. In your safe spot right now. This thing is producing a tornado right at this moment, we think. And regardless of whether it's a tornado or straight line winds, we know those winds are moving very, very strong. Again, take a look here. These brightest pixels indicating 75, I'll bet there's a 77, so 70 to 80 mile per hour winds at the very least. But there is circulation right there. And again, we've been getting a debris signature, which is right now right there. Okay? There's our debris signature between Fort Chaffee and Central City. Okay? Now, let's do a track on this one. All right? And from the area of greatest concern, right there, where the rotation is, again, moving off to the east-northeast, I want to make sure I get this right. Okay? East-northeast, just northeast. Yeah, just northeast. All right. All right. What was the speed again, William?
To the northeast at 60 miles per hour.
60, okay, pretty fast. This thing is booking it. It's going to be in Ozark and Lavaca before you know it. Lavaca, let's get in our safe spot right now. This thing's moving real fast. All right, so Lavaca in our safe spot as well. Try that again. There we go. You said 60? Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to do a number of different things at the same time here. All right, Mulberry at 813. What was that, Greg? Okay, Carol, Matt, we'll go back to the. So Mulberry at 813, Ozark 822, Denning 825.
Lowering on the stream in Central City.
Okay, let's go to him.
Do you want to change your batteries? They got your new batteries here.
All right. Oh, they do? Okay. Well, yeah. 1 second here. So he's at, okay. Yeah, this is what it looks like where Damon's at right now. And yeah, he's coming in right behind the circulation. He's coming in right behind the circulation. I'm going to switch out batteries. William, come on over here so I can talk a little bit over, if that's all right with you. All right. So getting dark out there, hard to see. Really kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Darby, real quick, we're seeing a huge number of power outages, an uptick, 31,000 by Ozark Electrics, 22,000 of them just in Washington County alone. Arkansas Valley Co-op, 3,300, 2,700 of those in Crawford County, and then another 500 in Benton County by Carroll Electric. So we're looking at close to 40,000 power outages just in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley right now. Back to you.
Yeah. All right. We've got a new tornado warning. This one's for Huntsville. Let's go back. We lost Damon's feed, and so I'll keep an eye on it. Let's keep an eye on it. But whether it be from the storm or from just maybe being outside of cell signal, we can't see Damon's feed right now. So we'll go back to this right over Huntsville, and it looks like we've got a new little area of debris. So watch this. Not seeing much right through here, Hartwell to Harmony to Huntsville, and then right there pops up, and it pops up right where the circulation is. That's a new tornado on the ground. So we've got a new tornado on the ground coming into the area just a little bit northwest and north of downtown Huntsville.